I'd put it your personal formation and your formation. Ha. Your personal formation has 5 pedagogical outcomes. What are they, Regina?
Work and life.
No.
Balance working for Hager.
Okay. Just hold on, let me write it down. Number 4. Change it up a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Vincenzo, number 4.
Hope.
Yes. Hope-filled evangelization. In other words, we're not going to quit. We're not going to say no. We're going to find a solution that's going to happen. Vincenzo, who failed? You. Number 5.
Oh, man.
You like this one. Think. Number 5 is totally Brie. We finish with
Intercessory prayer.
exactly, and I use the word compassion because it's more marketable. Intercession. So Pope says intercessory prayer. I interpret that as taking other people into your life, right? Number 2.
Community.
And number 3, Vincenzo.
Personal encounter with Jesus Christ.
Very good. So these are what we're shooting at through all the different craziness of going to the Egyptian festival, to taking care of the cars, to going shopping, to doing workouts, all this. Okay. What are the means that we take to get to those 5? Starting with Regina, number 3, personal encounter. How is SJI going to facilitate that for you?
Through spiritual direction.
Yep.
And silent retreat.
Nice. All right. And number 5, over to Bree, who's been nailing number 5 all day long. How are you going? We're going to incarnate this for you.
Volunteer work.
Every student needs to have some sort of volunteering or service to the poor. You can always cook for Father Francis. Cookies, remember? Cookies are the heart. It's the way to the heart. Number 1, balanced work and prayer.
The schedule.
Excellent. Follow the schedule and your life will be well. Regina, number 2, community. Pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Live. Okay? Number 4, Bree, hope-filled. What do we do to foster hope?
We appreciate art and go outside in the wilderness.
21-day hike, yep. So that you've actually done, like check, it's over. Part of your formation, a large part of your formation has already been given. Boom. Then the place of the arts and beauty. Okay, so very good. Another aspect to this that we'll just throw in there is the whole bodily health. Okay, so we could to make a nice neat package eventually next year when you guys hear me talk, you'll hear, he threw in bodily health. I mean working out, eating right, that kind of thing. It's just part of what we want you to learn. We can't, so we give you a gym membership. There we go. Number 6, bodily health, gym membership. That's it. So whatever. You see where this is going. On art and beauty, I wanted to make a little note. Yes, so we'll have encounter with artists, meeting artists. We'll have some basic experiences of art. This is not going to be, I always say this is not going to be a huge thing. So don't anticipate craziness. But whenever we can, we're going to throw in there. So already we're talking about maybe giving you guys some vocal coaching. That's art and beauty. The decorations of the place, the way we decorate, the insistence we're going to have eventually on a clean office, a beautifully disposed classroom. I'm kind of waiting to be inspired. But we're going to transform this place a little bit to something. We always have this tendency. We set the table before we eat. We try to cook good meals. We clean the dishes afterwards. That's all part of it. But my goal is that every one of our graduates leave being able to know how to approach a painting, how to approach a symphony, how to approach a sculpture, and get something out of it. Art and beauty. That's something you just have to learn. People to show you. Look at the line. See the line? You know. And so, okay. That's all here. We've gone over this many times. Formation for mission, though, we haven't talked about yet. Okay. So over here, we have a few things that we want you to get out. Number one, we want you to get an MBA in entrepreneurial business. So it is kind of like a big deal. All right. We haven't emphasized it yet, but starting on Monday, it'll be a pretty big deal, a part of your life. An MBA in entrepreneurial business. The second thing that we want you to receive is how would you put it? A foundation in theology and philosophy. I try to think about that word, right? Because, is it a formation? Of course it's a formation. It's always kind of formation. But it's not going to be a rigorous university formation. Can't give that. But what we can give is a great introduction. And enough elements, we want to be more audacious than just saying, a little introduction. If we're going to give you enough elements to be able to use effectively in your rest of your life. Because you're not going to get a second chance to come back to a school for 2 years, be surrounded by monks talking to you every single day. And so we want you to leave here with enough content that you know the basic answers to 98% of the questions you'll ever be asked in your life. In other words, we don't just want to form business people who are great Christians. We want to form business people who are great Christians who also know their faith intellectually. Okay. The other types of formation for mission that you'd have would be your internships. Sometimes this internship is going to overlap with the volunteering. Like if you intern at SJI, helping us set up our social media platform, well, that kind of counts for both. But at the same time, the idea behind the internship is that you have professional experience. The fourth formation for mission that you're going to be having is networking. And by this, I'm just going to put the coach. It's not really a coach, right? So it's that word. For some of you, it'll be a coach. The word we're going to use here at SJI is a mentor. I want you all to have a person behind you who believes in you, inspires you, and is going to carry you to the end zone. And the reason I want that is because I have one. It's more or less chosen. It's funny, as time goes on, I tell them more and more that they are a mentor for me. And it's gives me my strength and my joy to know that if something goes wrong, I have someone I can call who actually believes in me and who can give me good advice and who's been through this before. And I've seen the power that has. So, this will progressively be put into place. I've already told you, any one of you that wants one, you can ask. And I'll immediately start hooking you up with someone. But I also understand that sometimes this just kind of grows. And maybe you've got people, this is not a personal mentor. It's not your Uncle Kenny who sits at the dock and, tells you wisdom of life, This is like someone, let me tell you something you already know. This would be like for Vincenzo, I would love it if he found someone who started 3, restaurants in Denver and who's made it. He's got a chain of 3 up and running and just who believes in him. It's like, no, I was like you. Let me tell you, this is what you can do. That will be that type of fellow. We have them who are anxious to give them. But this is a huge person. If you can get that, even just one, I would like for you to have 2 or 3. Have like a little team. But if you can just get one person who's behind you, it's really one of the most important things. All these guys, we even heard Paul over here, who's running a whole thing to work with executives, talk about his team above him and the support that they give him. That's kind of how it works. The fifth formation for mission that we're going to want you to have is the fundraising. Okay, so if you want to then say, how does SJI make these things happen? On the first hand, what would you think? How are we making the MBA happen?
Walsh.
Nice. I was going to write that, and then I'm like, wait, and it's so cool you got that instead of like classes. See, we're jiving, like you guys, it's neat. That's a little neat, little intellectual community that we'd say Walsh and not classes. It's kind of cool. How are we going to do this one? Foundation for Theology and Philosophy.
Or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Classes.
I know, I was afraid to say classes now.
Say CSJ. Oh, yes. Brother, keep the brand.
I said CSJ.
Brother's like he's like got an intuition for marketing. He just knows how to do it. He's like, why would you put up coach if it's actually mentor? Because these thoughts develop organically. It's only at the end that you can trim the vine. Okay. Internships. This is going to be simply that we make them available. So here you have
Eagle Eye Ministries.
well, yeah. You have the president's office. Meaning that it is funny that it goes, but like to show you a few things. So like I did a trip to Toledo and I took an afternoon and went and talked with the bishop, and then I met with their diocesan staff for 2 of their different departments. They sat around a table. I spent 4 hours already of my life trying to ask them, can we have internships for our students? So in order to do that, then after that, I've had to write up a report. I have another report that's waiting. It's one thing, what do you have to do all day? I've got to try to write the Bishop of Toledo with a concrete proposition of how my students can help the Diocese of Toledo. But what am I going to walk away with? And he told me, he said, this is great. I'd love to have your students come in. They could work here for their first summer for 2 months. And we pay for their food and their housing and a salary. And then after those 2 months, they'll gain that experience. We'll be able to check them out. They can check us out. And they're set for a job opportunity with the diocese because we love your graduates to work here. Another type of internship that we've set up for Bree, we found a place where they want to do art stuff in Colorado Springs for the poor. That's kind of a neat spot. We have a Newman Center in Salt Lake City, Utah, that would love to have us come and intern with them for the summer, learning how to start this thing up. How do you evangelize on a college campus? But it's not just like hands-on stuff, it's how do we set ourselves up business-wise, from social media to events to what database tools do we use, etc., for evangelization on a college campus. So and then Walsh University has internships available, Eagle Eye. So eventually what I'm going to create is a packet with our logo on it, internships at SJI, and then we'll just put in pages to that thing and it'll be online and everyone can see the wonderful things. But I'm actually working at that. So the 3 of you, it's this kind of, like you want to go already to Belgium, you've already got your internship set up. Regina's always just watching in the wings. But, I might have one person to work with. But right away next year, you can imagine if we get 8 students, which is what I'm shooting for, wow, suddenly it's like, poof, it's going to go from 8 to 11. It's a 200% increase in 1 year. So that's when those things will come in really handy. But that's part of it. So with your internships, that is optional, meaning a student does not have to take an internship. You have to have compassion, intercession towards the poor, like Eagle Eye Ministries. But you don't have to intern. But we really encourage it because during these 2 years, you could be building up your resume. You could be interning, and man, you see where you want to go. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, it's not as big of a deal. You want to kind of be an entrepreneur, but maybe artistically, you're like, before I do this, I want to do a 2-month internship learning how to deal with mentally ill people. So I'm not even going to do that art thing because I'm going to do it the rest of my life. I'm going to spend this next summer and I'm going to do 2 months working with the mentally ill at some shelter. So I learn the techniques, etc. So when they come to my door, I can identify that and work with that type of person. That would be the type of expansion of your resume. I think at this part over here, this is partly where the mentor will come in. I'm thinking like, down the road, like what am I going to be doing this year? I'd like to build like a team of mentors, like say 15 that you would get to choose from. But those mentors that we can form as what we want them to do to help you. Like that type of thinking, stretching your resume. How do you build yourself to be set for a career? So Regina, you have a good set of skills with good experience. Maybe if we broaden that over here, you'll be able to be more competitive for a job offer in this type of environment. That type of coaching, we're going to provide you. We don't have the mechanisms all set up, but you're pioneers, you know what I mean? But it's there. So like, even though I might not have a team of 15 guys lined up with their goals in mind, I do have a whole bunch. As soon as you want a mentor, you'll get one. It's like boom. And we do have internships. Boom. It's just not all crystal cutter clear. But the President's Office will provide those opportunities for you if you want them. You can also find your own. Fine with me. It's great. Networking coach. Again, this is the President's Office. We'll find that person for you. And your fundraising. What have we given you for fundraising?
Victory Guide.
Yes. The Victory Guide. And so we'll be ramping up them again with you. Just a reminder, please fundraise. Don't put it off. If you're too busy and overwhelmed and not doing any fundraising this week, you should be talking to Katie and saying, Katie, I haven't done anything this week. I'm going to be on it, I promise. Help me out next week so that doesn't happen again. You guys have got to stay on top of that. Because all of a sudden the bill's going to come due, boom, and you're going to be really hurting. You don't want that. Okay. Awesome. You guys see that? So let's do a little test. Close your eyes, Regina. She's just trying to memorize the board. Keep them open. Close your eyes, Regina. Can you recite for me the 5 formation for missions that you're going to be receiving here?
Okay, MBA. Next is internships.
Good.
3.
Skip number 2.
You skipped number 2.
Number 2.
All right.
I'm gonna keep going. Internships, networking, fundraising, and
Think of it the subject of today's morning talk.
The foundation of theology, philosophy.
Hey, you got them all. All right, so now close your eyes again.
Okay.
Tell them in order.
Okay. MBA, foundation of philosophy, internships, networking, fundraising.
Very good. Bree, you want to try it?
Which one? The same one?
Yep, formation for mission. 5 pedagogical outcomes.
MBA through Walsh. Foundation in Theology and Philosophy through CSJ.
Number 3. Diocese of Toledo.
Internships.
Yep.
And then
4. He's coming in this afternoon.
mentor
Good.
and fundraising.
Nice. And what are the means we're taking for who? What supplies you with a mentor? Where do you go to get a mentor?
President's office.
It's right at the desk right out there. Okay, Regina, close your eyes. Go backwards. Number 5.
Okay, fundraising, internships, networking, foundation in theology and philosophy, and MBA promotion.
Very good. Close your eyes. What means will be supplied to you for the 4th formation for mission outcome?
President's office.
Nice. Close your eyes. What means will be supplied to you for the 2nd formation for mission outcome?
Community St. John.
Father Francis Therese lists for us. Regina, close your eyes. What means will be supplied for the 5th formation for mission outcome?
Victory guides.
Okay. Does anybody want to take the ultimate challenge? Who's up?
Got it.
Bree. She raised her hand first. Bree, I want you to replicate for me this board. Close your eyes.
Okay.
I want you to start from the left and go to the right, Miss Visual, just like me.
So, the entire board?
The entire board, all 5. So let's start with personal educational outcomes, your time at SJI. Personal formation. Hit it. You got it. You got this. It's going to come automatic.
Balance of work and prayer. Community,
Yep.
personal encounter,
Yep.
hope,
Yep.
compassion.
Yep.
And then the next one.
Give me the means.
Okay,
Starting backwards from that.
so
Starting with compassion, means. You can do it. You guys have got this.
volunteering / service to others. Art and beauty, 21-day hike. Spiritual direction. And
Annual.
retreat. Live. Follow the schedule.
Yes. You are
And-
50%
hang on,
there.
hang
That's an
on.
F minus 50%. Building herself up. Okay, shift on over.
So, MBA through Walsh.
Yes.
Foundation in theology and philosophy through Defeating St. John.
Doing a great job. Third one's where you hit last time.
Internships
Yes.
through the president's office.
You
got
want going?
This one is also through the president's office.
Yep. And it would consist of the guy who's coming today.
Mentor, and then Victory Guide is the means for fundraising.
Hey! First try. Well, that wasn't on there. That was a joke.
Aw.
That's the bonus points.
I've never had a pop quiz where I
Let's
close
give her
my eyes.
congratulations. That was pretty impressive. Isn't that amazing how much you know, how quickly you get it?
Yeah.
I think it's in partly because like this isn't like new information. This is like all just part of the culture that you're in. So it's not hard. You're kind of like, oh yeah, I see this is part of the soup that's there. Anyone else want to try
Try
to
what?
match Bree's mastery? Anyone dare? Who's dare?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Please close your eyes. We're gonna be watching.
Just gonna whiz through this.
Alright.
Yeah, but you were the
Personal.
pioneer. You broke the ground.
Work and balance, which is schedule. Second is community living. 3 is personal encounter with Christ. Silent retreat. And spiritual direction. Why are you laughing?
Guys, why are you laughing? Ha ha ha.
4 is
Come on, Regina.
silences give people time to reflect.
Remember?
Oh, hope.
Yes.
Art
Yes.
and beauty
Yes.
in the 21 days in the wilderness. And then 5 is intercessory or compassion. And it is volunteering, basically eagle eye. And then
Now, I didn't say that. That was Father Francis that said that. Corruption. I would never manipulate you to my own ends.
okay, so then formation for mission is an MBA in entrepreneurship through Walsh. 2 is a foundation in theology